Test. Oh, gonna have to edit that. All right. Looks good. Let me get the settings. Shoot. Can you hear me all right? There should not be a delay more than like 10-20 seconds on it. For you guys just coming in, I just got out of the shower, so my face looks a little fucked up. Yeah. Shut up, Ivan. Anyways, fucked up face. Yeah, you're just quoting me. Guess I'll advertise this stream a little bit. There we go. I am ready. I'm gonna type through. I'm gonna type through this alt account just in case. Just in case I want to go to somebody's profile, like look at some stats from Lion and Mauzer, which I will at some point during the early rounds. You guys are free to go ahead and start. Yeah, it just makes it a lot easier than streaming on my main account where people will send me messages with mod reports and then other stuff. It is 5:30 a.m. here on a Saturday morning. I was already awake, luckily. All right, so just to clarify for anyone coming in, they just started. This is a duel between Lions and Escanor, who just got up to 1700 elo, damn, and Mauzer, who is up to 1468. So this duel was it's a little bit different than the rest of them. There was a bet that was placed about a week ago where you could bet Protocoins on whichever player you thought was going to win, and whoever does win, you might double or get significantly more Protocoins than you had before. So the odds were double for Mauzer, and 1 you'll get 1.6 percent or times your initial bet if Lion wins and you bet on him. Okay, so I don't know what strat Mauzer is, but he decided to go for Austria, Serbia, and Sweden. It's not too bad. It's probably on the safer side of expansions, I would guess. I do know what strat Lionson is. No, I'm not going to talk for 100 turns. I will stop whenever they decide to stop or when things decide to get boring. Okay. So, Lion decided to go for China Southeast and Vietnam. Looks like Lion's initial goal and Mauzer's with the Serbia and Vietnam is to go for India or to go for the Middle East as fast as they can. In my opinion, I'm not sure. Yeah, I know. Uh, I'm not sure how it plays out in this map specifically, but generally in a Eurasia game, like whoever, like if Europe has India, then it's a lost game for Asia. So I imagine Mauzer wants to go to the Middle East as fast as he can, as well as expand, because it's going to take him a bit longer to get all of Asia than it would take Lion. So we'll go ahead and get into some stats. I'll go ahead and load up profiles for Lion here. So he has about 1,500 duels, where he has a pretty good, like a more than a 3-to-1 win rate. And Mauzer, on the other hand, Games Lord Mauzer, I don't even know if he still has that trophy, but he has about a 2-to-1 ratio, which is still very good. So the betting was called off, and I do have the stats for the betting. There were 59 unique people that bet on Mauzer, and they bet a total of 15,000 Protocoins. A little bit more than that. A little more than 15,000 Protocoins for Mauzer. But Lion had 98 people that bet on him, and over 51,000 Protocoins were bet. So it's going to be a lot of PC for those guys, including myself, because I bet on Lion. All right. They both seem to have very calculated expansions. They both practice this. I watched a couple of games with both of them. And, you know, like they both put a decent amount of time into like what strat, like where they're playing. So Chess seems to say that he's playing MOS. I think MOS would be a very interesting strat. In my experience, it's very expensive, and even in late game, it's kind of hard to spend all of your units. So I imagine Mauzer will just be playing it like it's PD and just be throwing some Marines in on the side, if that's the case. I like his expansion though for Europe. Lion, on the other hand, this looks pretty standard as well. General in the middle of nowhere. It's clearly something. What else? Um, so yeah, this stream won't be going on for 100 turns the entire time. That would just be an insane amount of time. Once they take a break, I'll take a break, or if things start to slow down, I'll stop. Oh, so they're not playing on the standard map. They're playing on Chess's modified map, which balances for the fact that Asia is actually a little bit like worse off than Europe. Europe generally has more reinforcements and more money, significantly. So to balance that, I have some screenshots of the balances that Chess did to the map that kind of make it more fair. And some of those choices are kind of interesting. So I will link my stream again in a second, and then I'll show you those. Okay, so let's first take a look at Europe first, because you would think uh, in a map that's supposed to balance for Asia being weaker that you wouldn't really edit Europe that much, and that's mainly true. But Chess did make some he did make some modifications to Europe, and we'll look at those. So there were only a few of them. So one of those modifications was nerfing the income for Spain a little bit. So this is the before picture that I'll show you first, and then I'll show you the after one. But he essentially made it go from made it go from 542 income to 493. And I didn't actually look to see where he took the money out, but I imagine he took a little bit out from every city, like he did with everything else. He also buffed the income for Belgium and Switzerland. So he added like 50 or so to one of the cities here, or both of them. Then he added 60 income to Belgium. So that's Europe taken care of. There wasn't really any other changes that he made in Europe. He didn't change anything in the Middle East or in Russia, at least this portion of Russia. The first changes start actually over in this area, Southeast Asia. So, let's see. Starting with Nepal. Pull this up. You can see he tripled the income for these smaller countries, doubled it for Bangladesh, Burma more than doubled, Thailand, which was already a pretty like income rich country, was a little less than doubled. And then he tripled the income for Cambodia and Vietnam. And what he'll do is he'll go into these cities and he'll add income to all of them. So it wasn't just one city that was edited, it was all of them. Then lastly, we will look at Asia. Oh, okay, gotcha, you removed Iceland. So Asia is where most of the changes were. So starting off with Northwest and Southwest, he pretty much doubled the income for Northwest, which makes it a lot more, like you want to take it a lot more earlier, I guess. I mean, but he kind of buffed all of these, so I guess you want to take them all as soon as possible. That way you get the full income bonus as fast as you can. So then we'll move over to southwest, which he added some income, not a whole lot, relatively to everything else. He huge, probably one the biggest change. What he did to China South, adding huge amounts of income to Guangzhou and Hong Kong and just every city on here. Just it becomes a much more high pride country, which I'm surprised that that line didn't take right away, but not really because in their early rounds you kind of want to go for reinforcements over money, and you want to go for Vietnam so that way you can reach into Middle East before anything else. So he didn't actually change the income for China North or Southeast, and he didn't change the reinforcements for anything. Well, he the only thing he really changed was a couple of things. You know, he got rid of Iceland, like you just said, and he changed Russia up here, but I'll get to that in a minute. But anyways, so it didn't change north or southeast. Then we'll move over to the more western or eastern part of Asia, where significantly boosted the income for all of these countries, including Japan. Now, Russia Far East is actually kind of a weird exception to all the rules that he made for the changes. So he got rid of the extra cities that were north, Far East. You notice like before up here, there's there used to be a few extra little cities, but he actually got rid of those and buffed the income for these two cities, which actually kind of nerfed it, but not really because nobody gets those cities in the first place. So I marked it as yellow on the screenshot changes, but it's kind of, I see it as a buff, but the income is actually less than if you were to capture all the cities on it normally. So that's it for the changes and for this map. We'll get back to the game and see what's going on. Alright, so he capitalized on Southeast Asia, which is a decent amount of income. Now he looks ready to be able to jump towards Delhi. I'm going to go ahead and mute the game chat for a second so I can focus. Alright, so whether he buys an air trans or not, we'll see. Looks like Mauzer has just reached into the Middle East. Okay, good turn for Mauzer. Didn't go a huge distance, just to Kuwait. And India was not taking, so looks like Lion is going for the as fast as possible without as well as being efficient, you know? If it were me, I might have bought like one air trans just to take everything a little bit faster, but in a 5k game I don't know how viable that is, especially when he didn't take China South for like 2 turns. And that's going to be like a huge portion of his income. Alright. He has Japan and Osaka, the two biggest cities in Japan. He'll probably have full Japan, not next turn, but the turn after that. And I imagine at the rate he's going, he'll have full Asia in 3-4 turns. The full this side of Asia at least. So I'm going to go ahead and speculate that Mauzer is MOS, which I wouldn't recommend for him, but he's a decent player, and I'm sure he knows what he's doing. Okay, let's go ahead and turn the chat back on. Yes, I am your monkey, if you're curious. I should really go get a cup of coffee. It is 5 a.m. for me right now. I was hoping this would start a little bit later. I was trying to get some time to clean up myself and everything, but they wanted to start while I was in a shower, and they both give me different times to start, so wasn't really sure. Show in-game stats like income. I wish I could. Yeah, like how much income they're making each turn. I don't know how to do that. Unless you're talking like me going to the map and actually see like the different changes. So I would have I thought about going like opening up a separate game and going in so you could see the different changes for each city. The problem for that is like if he changed it for one of the cities in a country, he changed it for all of them. There was no cases where he would buff the income for something and not do it for every city inside of that country. So it's kind of pointless, and it's kind of just more realistic just to show every country as opposed to the city. My predictions as far as how this game's gonna go, I think that Lion's gonna just get a hold of India really quickly, and he's gonna be able to hold on to it. Then he'll probably just sweep some more units down through and just buff up India until he has enough units that he can just power through and push into Europe. There isn't really there isn't really a whole lot that that's gonna be going on like during the middle game. It's gonna be pretty slow and grindy. At which point I'll probably stop streaming, and then I'll just come back whenever something happens. Oh, pausing the game. That's right. So, if you guys didn't hear, there were there was talk about the game being paused and like being carried over to the next day or hours later. Um, so each player has one break that they can take, where they can take it at any time, and basically, a mod or they will set the game to be casual, and then they'll take their break and then they'll come back. They'll keep playing it. If you guys don't know who I am by now, I'm Sid. Yeah, I know Germany is a little bit interesting to me. Turn 6. I expect Mauzer to have full Europe. Looks like he already has full, like, minor Balkans. He would take Serbia turn 1, by the way. Okay, just got a PM on Discord from Mauzer. He's telling me that Eagle is playing on his account right now. Okay. So just to recap the bets, There were 59 people, unique people, that placed bets on Mauzer for a total of 15,000 Protocoins, and 98 people that placed a bet on Lion for 51,000 Protocoins. So a little bit of a uneven scale towards Lion. Okay, turn 6, and he has Delhi, and he has a few cities inside of India. It's actually pretty good. I think I like Lion a lot better right now, even with my bias. Just given that um, that Asia is almost completely taken already, and Mauzer is a little more than like 70% done. So let's go through their game history. Let's see. Okay. So it looks like since the start, Mauzer's been practicing. He has about three, I would say about 20 games, maybe. Actually, one of these are Clan Wars, probably around 10 or 15 practice games with this. Lion, on the other hand, has been playing seemingly non-stop, a lot more. Okay, so I'd say probably around the same amount played on that scenario. I don't know this for a fact, but I think there's a lot of laws involved with betting real money, and that's the reason why Dave didn't set that up. So this is the total map so far. Lion has like every major country. Mauzer just took Germany. He got Spain too. He's missing every city in Spain. I actually disagree with Jogers saying that Mauzer has the better expansion. I actually like Lion's a lot better here. Mauzer got an air trans and he took Uzbekistan, which is interesting. It might be taken right back. That might be the play, considering Uzbekistan's kind of crucial to Kazakhstan and these two Russian countries. Mauzer's yet to wall anything, except for Middle East. Both players are actually pretty good at their expansions, I would say. I like both of them a lot. Mauzer isn't even deep into Europe. He's still missing a lot of countries. I think Mauzer's right to focus Middle East as soon as possible. He needs to start up a front here as soon as he can and get these countries. That way he has reinforcements to back it up. Because once Lion gets full India, it's going to be a hard game to push against. I don't imagine that Lion's going to be too aggressive right away. I don't think neither side is going to be too aggressive right away. I think they both like race to the front to see who is going to take what first, and now they're both just going to expand within their territories until they can stack up a sizable amount of units. As far as the north goes, whenever I play Eurasia games, there's always a kind of like a push-pull with the north. Um, one side will usually send anywhere from 30 to 80 units up here, and the other side will retaliate with, you know, maybe 50 units more than that. And usually it just goes back and forth, and nobody ever makes any real progress up here. And then down towards the south, it's usually a similar but slower problem, where both sides just power through hundreds of units, and they just kind of just clash them out and wait. It's usually around this Iran to Pakistan area where the units typically just build up. So we'll probably see that happening, considering both sides have claimed their foothold. Looks like Mauzer is going to go for uh, the Russia push first. So if he can hold on to them, that'll be a good help for him, especially Ural and Siberia, as they're both pretty decent money for him. So yeah, guys, like I said, this match is going to be pretty boring. Um, I recommend just popping in every once in a while um, into the stream, and then I'll update things as they change. But it's going to be slow. There's going to be a lot of dead silence in here, so I recommend getting a music or some podcast or something and just playing in the background. That's probably what I'll do here in a bit. No, neither of them are going to play that aggressive right now. Where is Mauzer's gen, by the way? Oh, okay. He's going the long way around. So, during the negotiations with this match, Mauzer originally asked for, I guess, up to 15 breaks, so he could refuel, as he called it. I guess he takes a lot of food breaks in between AtWar matches, so he wanted to have some extras just so he could concentrate, as he puts it, on the game. But in the end, we just convinced him that he can play at his desk and eat at the same time. My chat is going too slow. No, I'm on Firefox for the stream, so there's going to be a bit of a delay. There's always a delay on streams, typically between 10 to 20 seconds. As far as strat recommendations for both sides, I'd probably recommend either PD or LB or um, actually that's about it. I wouldn't really recommend anything else. Maybe Imp. Imp might be a good strategy, just to push as many units as possible. Let's look at the income. Yeah, there's going to be a huge income disparity. I imagine Asia has a lot more right now. But it looks pretty equal as far as unit count. Mauzer has a lot of units just laying around here. Some in Milan, Lyon, Barcelona. Whereas Lyon, on his more eastern territories, he's moving all of his units out. He's trying to, I don't know what this is. That's interesting. Why, I wonder why he's going for the seawall right now. That seems like a waste of time to me. It's a 100 turn game, but it's not as if I believe that in 100 turns, um, yeah, I mean, it's possible to sail like around the world or down, through the Panama Canal across Asia or something, but I don't know how realistic that is, that Mauser would do that. I mean, it's possible, I guess. I don't know if yeah, I just don't know if I'd be making the seawall now. That's something I would do 30, like 20, 30 turns from now, you know? Lion also get to take Mumbai. I imagine I'll take it this turn. So they're both about dead even on SP. So if this actually goes to 100 turns, which it very well might, there's a good possibility on that. Both sides want to maintain a focus on SP pretty much the entire time, just in case. If you guys aren't aware, after 100 turns, when the game ends, whoever has the most SP wins, if there isn't, somebody dead. About an 80 unit advantage for Lion. Okay, already setting the walls up around here. This, I'm a little bit more understandable about. I think the Japanese seawall is a little premature. I think this game's just going to be a lot easier in general for Lion, and it's because all of his reinforcements are all concentrated in 8+ cities. You know, it's kind of rare for like a city not to have 6 or 7 or 8 reinforcements, whereas it's fairly common for a lot of these. Like there's tons of tiny little countries that only have 1, 2, or 3 reinforcements, it's going to be a lot more clicking, a lot more dragging, and that's going to slow Mauzer down significantly. So having Asia is actually probably a much bigger advantage just in that regard alone, which is huge in these sorts of games when you have hundreds or thousands of units that you have to move. Lion did take back Uzbekistan. You can't really have Mauzer taking any of this area because then that becomes a danger to India. You're gonna double the seawalls? I'm not talking shit. I think it's a good idea, just not right now. I can tell that Lion never plays Asia because you would never make this fucking seawall right here. You don't have to put a unit in the middle of the sea to like make an effective wall. I actually never thought to wall Wuhan and whatever the city is together. I like it. Lion's a little slow on the upbeat for Russia. He's probably not going to get to Siberia in time. Mauzer, with a much more practical approach to his walls, walling what's in danger first. I will be right back, guys. I'm gonna go get a cup of coffee. I'm gonna turn off my video cam for a second while I go do that. There we go. Having a Keurig is really nice. Oh, so that's in Astana. I don't know where that's at. Let's go ahead and see. Okay, that's in Kazakhstan. So he took Kazakhstan, which seems to be the meme country right now. Mauzer almost done with Europe. He just has a couple countries and a few cities on top of that left. He even went for all these, you know, tertiary cities, so you can get the full income bonus as fast as possible in all these countries. Lion, been done for a couple of turns now. Now has full India. Looks like a couple of stealth bombers that were detected. I imagine Mauzer might be sending stealth to be nerfing some of the income. He'll look for cities that are open and he'll attack them and basically force Lion to defend or try and nerf the income from them. One second again. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. You're right, you can watch it live on your own, but if you might be like a ranked, you know, 9 or 7 who doesn't really know what he's looking at, it might be useful to watch a YouTube link with somebody talking about it who does know. Okay, the seawall. Lion seems to be spending a majority of his time on. So upwards of 50% of his time on these walls. Um, Probably going to lose because of it. Lion, can you play your turn in the duel? Give me a second. Mauzer's using up his break already. Not even, what is it? How long into the stream are we? 13 minutes. Or no, that's not it. If it's 5-minute turns, it's probably 50 minutes. I'm drinking coffee. So I went ahead and I made it 24 hours. So now it's a casual game. Continue tomorrow. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know. Hmm. Now is the perfect time to do your Japanese walls. Make sure Japan is good. Mauzer is not running to the store. He's actually bedridden. So whenever he logs off for the night, all he does is close his browser and fall asleep. Wakes up, goes back on AtWar the next day. So I'm not sure what Mauzer's doing with this navy in the middle here. His gen used to be here, but apparently he sent him off at some point to go join the rest of his units. Mauzer's starting to aggregate units already, which is good. It's usually faster than I do it whenever I play Europe in these games. I think Mauzer's going to be too slow, though. Lion already has India secured. He's already sending units to hold it. Yeah, when Mauzer's like all of his units keep moving somehow, it's not going to be a huge deal if he misses a turn. I mean, this isn't super critical, and it looks like Lion sped up to get Siberia, bought a few air trans, which I didn't predict. Lion took his sweet time going to India, so I thought he would take his time for Siberia, but I guess he assumed it was a lot more important than it is. Okay, so now we're in the casual turn. Let's see, Mauzer did move his units, but not by much. Finally got Romania. Mauzer now has full Europe, given, you know, 2 cities, but these cities aren't important at all, to be honest. So I'm going to sit here for the next 24 hours until this turn ends. I'm kidding. I'll wait for a little bit, see if there's anything else I can discuss. But so far, at the end of the first break, we have what appears to be a good expansion for both sides. This is the current look. It looks very good for Lion down in the Middle East. I much prefer him. He's already invading these countries here. As far as up north, looks like Lion went ahead and bought some air transits to catch up where he was lacking. He's still lacking in unit count. I imagine this is where Mauzer's first push will be. With Marines, it's a lot like this is definitely like Mauzer's game up here. I could totally see him trying to go through Russia to kind of like come down and attack China from here, but it's not huge for Lion to lose these territories. He doesn't have to focus on like pushing Mauzer from here. All he has to do is really hold, and he can hold back as far back as like China. He doesn't necessarily need these countries; they just help a little bit. It's probably about 600-700 income that he's missing out on, but he's not going to miss that income too much with all the extra income he's going to get from this balanced map here. Let me see. Looks like Mauzer's mouse is working again. You guys should definitely try this coffee. It's pretty good. If you have a Keurig, it's the Italian dark roast, and then I'm using a cream brulee creamer. It's pretty good. So Mauzer did actually send me a private message when I asked him what he was going to do about like how he's going to go to the bathroom and everything, and he told me that he actually has a catheter that he has permanently inserted, and he's always sitting on a toilet, so that's not too much of a worry for him. For Lion, on the other hand, it's going to be a bit of an issue. Who with the right mind is using a wireless mouse? I have a wireless mouse for my bed because I'm not gonna drag a wire across my blankets like a fucking like a monster, but to be playing the most important match of Mauzer's life so far on a wireless mouse is just an oversight, if you ask me. Let me see what Mauzer wants to do here. I wonder if Lion being aggressive in the Middle East so early is a mistake. I'm not sure. Looks like Mauzer has more than enough units to defend, but we'll see. All he has to do is defend. Okay, that's actually a really nice wall. Mauzer just has to defend Saudi and UAE like he is. And then if Lion decides to go for Kuwait or any of these, smaller countries or expand up any here, it's going to be a lot harder for him to hold on to it. So for you guys just tuning in, the betting was paused like a couple hours before the game started. I do have the stats for everyone who decided to buy into it. There were 59 people that believed in Mauzer, and they all paid a total of 15,000 Protocoins. Someone can do the average for that if you want. But there were 98 people that believed in Lion that he would win, and they collectively put in 51,000 Protocoins. I didn't see this 92 down by Vietnam. This is going to be pretty good for Lion to have already. Um, he definitely practiced this because a lot of people, myself included, would just drag units down. But it seems Lion's figured out that you can actually utilize all these reinforcements up here and just air transport, or not air transport, but regular transport them down through India this way. Maybe it looks like Lion's tactic is to go directly to Saudi in this area here. $51,000 Protocoins, 850 of which are mine. So I've already told Lion if he loses, I'm gonna ban him. That's just how it is. Um, so he should definitely keep that in mind. I don't know what Mauzer's saying half the time, so someone's gonna have to translate. You bet Protocoins in yourself too. If you throw the game, you're throwing your own shit. You bet more than I did too. Oh wait, no, you didn't. Never mind. You didn't bet that much at all. So everything's been taken, except for Jordan and Turk medicine. So looks like the match is going to go back on now. If Lion and Mauzer don't wall every city they have, like available that they're able to wall, then they're really wasting this break they have. because they're allowed to take, you know, as much time as I put into it, I think. I don't know. I assume neither side wants this to drag into next week, so they probably don't want to wait that long. So a 5-minute game, 5-minute turns at 100 turns. That's a lot of minutes. Let me do the math. So 100 turns times, I mean, that's 500. I didn't need a calculator for that, but divide by 60. That's 8 hours. A little more than 8 hours. So this game is probably, it is going to take at least 8 hours. It started at around, we'll just round up to say 6 a.m. for me at least. So it's going to carry on until at least middle of the afternoon for West Coast USA. China Northeast cap wall is lacking. That's a good catch. Honestly, I don't see the seawall coming into effect this game. It's not a bad idea, but it does seem like a waste of militia right now. Who knows? Alright, Mauzer wants to end the break. I didn't change the settings back, so I guess I'll do that. I guess it's kind of confusing when I'm typing on both accounts, but hopefully Mauzer understands that. I know that Lion understands that I'm on a different account here. They did end turn, so let's see. Okay. Nice lazy seawall. I guess you don't need to cover all the cities in Japan anymore. The bets are not open anymore. It's too late to bet. Mauzer with his big stack of 145 by Serbia. Looks looks enticing. Looks pretty scary. On the other hand, Lion with his stack in Thailand. So which one is closer to the fight? I would say probably Lion, because Lions are in a sea transport already, so he can already take it over, and he should be around Sadia in around 3 or so turns, I imagine. Maybe 4 or 5, I don't know. Whereas Mauzer's going to take his time, really. something I wanted to bring up, just kind of address so that in the future you guys don't do this again. There is 0 point in betting on both sides, just so you know. There were at least 3 or 4 people that did that too, and one of which he bet a significant amount of Protocoins on both sides, which just seems pants on head stupid to me. There's no benefit. You're going to lose less, but you're also going to win less money. So you may as well just bet less money. So I don't want to speak too much about. Okay, so Lions go ahead. He went ahead and he said what strategy was. He's LB. Um, I knew that beforehand. LB infantry should be decent against MOS. I don't think MOS infantry are nerfed at all. I think they're buffed actually. Maybe I think in their defense. I'll have to look that up. Let me see. Because I actually don't play MOS enough to really know this. So it looks like they're a little bit cheaper with MOS, but other than that, nothing's really changed. There we go. Now it's back to 5-minute turns. My alarm just went off. I normally work Saturdays, but this one I am not. Back to the game. Let's see who's winning. So let's look at unit count first. So Mauzer actually pulled ahead, and he's up ahead by a little more than 100 units, which is pretty big. Pretty big catch up by Mauzer. He's probably utilizing more of his reinforcements than Lion is right now. But Lion seems to have the speed advantage. So this is where the stack was at, and now it moved here. So he added a lot of units to it, slid it down by a lot. It's going to take a while for it to get to the battle. Whereas Lion is already racing towards this area. Lion being aggressive right now, more than Mauzer at least. So it looks like Lion is he's only using the sea transports for his main stack here, and for all the rest of his units, looks like he's just gonna drag and drop them. A little slower, a little more boring, but it works. What happens if they both kill each other at the same time? That's an interesting question, and I think the odds of that happening are so low that it's not worth pondering about. Realistically, what would happen is the bets would probably just go back to each player, and then I don't hand out the PCs for anybody. Then Dave just runs the script that refresh, like gives everyone back their PCs. The only way I see this going in Mauzer's favor is if he's imp. If Mauzer is imp, he'll be able to buy all of his units every single time on reinforcement turn, be able to buy air transports for them, and I've seen that play out very well for people. So a new turn happened. Looks like they're both putting a sizable chunk up north, to be expected. Looks like Mauzer has the advantage up north. Gonna go ahead and put it at equal over here. Just going to see the unit displacement. Mauzer has an even bigger unit count now. Unit count advantage. My bad. So if that keeps up, it's gonna be a lot of trouble for Lion. What the fuck is an ECM? Lion's from Australia. I'm from the Western US, and Mauzer is from Serbia. So we kind of got all parts of the globe covered right now. Here, here, and here. That's a huge stack in Turkey. Might be enough to overcome Lion. We'll see. They're both managing their units very excellent, right? Looks like neither side is wasting any time, except for Lion, wasting his time on seawalls when he's not even sure that Mauzer is MOS. GW would be very hard to play. That's pretty much an impossible strategy for either side to play right now. Just because GW is very micromanage heavy, and neither side has the time to be able to do that. GW kind of reigns supreme in like smaller tiered games. It's okay in Africa, though it's a little expensive there. Um, like Europe is generally the best place to play GW, or South America. Anywhere else, it's just too micromanage heavy. All right, new turn. Looks like Mauzer with the stealth bombers again, trying to nab up some of the air trends, but Lion's smart enough to guard it. Looks like he has rest stops set up along the way. Either that or he's walling invisible cities. I like to imagine that. That's funny to me. They're both still setting up their units pretty efficiently. He's even using the reinforcements from Japan and South Korea, which at this point I wouldn't do, but with his increased income that he's gotten from this map, this makes it very possible for him at this stage. Let's see the unit count difference. Even larger now. It looks like each turn, Mauzer's getting slightly more and more units. This is worrisome. So either Lion's not using up all his reinforcements, or there's still a little bit of a disadvantage for Asia in this. I'd like to imagine that since chess up to the income, that Asia will be able to utilize more of the reinforcements, and that over the next 10 or so turns, we'll see Lion begin to balance out. For you guys tuning into YouTube, you can talk in there, you can message in the game. If you have any questions, just put them in anywhere and I'll respond to them. Looks like Lion's being a bit more aggressive, sending his units towards Mauzer. He doesn't have enough to send though, so I'm kind of curious on what he plans on doing with this 43 stack. I imagine he's either going to like ignore the one in the city, the 77 here, and just march past it, or whether he plans on going back to Astana with it. In the past, what I would do is I would march past this city and keep going and attack, but it seems to be a waste of units. And I don't know if he's trying to slow Mauzer's income, but if that's not the goal, then it seems like a waste to try and do that. I would start getting nervous about now if I were Lion, because Mauzer seems to have caught up. He's ran all of his units down here. He has, let's count, do a little count here, 237, 260, 280, 90, 310, 450. I don't know if I counted these yet. I'll say that I didn't. 50, 520, 560. So about 560 units. I feel like I counted those already. I'll do it again. Yeah, no, I had it right the first time. It's a lot of units in the Middle East. Whereas Lion has about 50, 60, 150, 200, 210, 310. Yeah, he's still missing out on a lot of units down here. I thought Lion would have a much bigger advantage as far as unit counts down south here, but seems to be in Mauzer's favor right now. All right, looks like Lion finished the Great Wall of China. Okay, now Lion has more units. I'm watching my own stream and it's not that far behind. I don't know what you guys are talking about. So, I guess I'll take this break to go back over the differences in chess's version of this map, which they're playing on, versus the original, because we have a lot of different new viewers here. So the problem with Europe versus Asia games is that usually Asia has a pretty distinct disadvantage. So all of his units are spread far apart. He has less money, less reinforcements, and he can't buy all his reinforcements most of the time. So that's like the big issue with Asia. Whereas Europe, usually, you know, around this turn, Mauser is able to buy all his reinforcements, no problem. But Asia would have a huge issue, and that's usually where the imbalances occur. But Chess made a scenario where he fixed all these issues, and I'll go over those. He basically just buffed Asia and made some small changes to Europe. So this is what Asia looked like before. I'll go ahead and put them side by side so you can see. And this is after Asia. So you can see the first change was Northwest and Southwest. He pretty much doubled the income for Northwest, making it much, much faster country that you want to get. Usually, it's one of the later countries that you want to get. Income's not super important. It's the least income you get from any of China, but now it's actually a pretty big powerhouse. Then he added a little, like 100 income, not a little. I mean, that's a significant amount. That's 2 infantry if he's playing like PD. But he added 100 to Southwest. He probably the most significant change in the whole map is that he added 600 extra like coins or whatever dollars to China South. So you can see that's pretty significant. When he adds changes to these, he'll add incremental like money changes to each city. So there's no point in going through and seeing like, oh, he added 100 here, he added 50 here. He adds money to every city inside the country that he changes. You'll notice he didn't change Taiwan, southeast, or north at all. Those are still the same. He tripled Mongolia's money, but that doesn't really affect anything. Over here towards the east more, you can see China northeast. He buffed it by a couple hundred. That's not insignificant. North Korea was tripled. South Korea has an extra 100. And a pretty big chunk from Japan, which has 300 extra now. So this part up here, Russia Far East, is actually an interesting case where there was an income nerf on it, but it's kind of a buff too. So what he did is he removed the extra cities that were far north of Far East. There were 3 extra little like 1 unit cities that were kind of hard to take and kind of annoying, to be honest. Nobody ever takes those. Chess removed those, and he buffed the income for both of these cities up here. So it loses income overall, but for most players it'll be a buff because you'll get the full country bonus, and you don't have to worry about going up north. Over in Southeast Asia, so this is the after, and this is the before. You can see that he buffed Nepal, Bhutan, and did a significant boost to Bangladesh. So it went from having 242 to now 485, which it's a good thing that Lion took it right away. That way he'll get the income bonus for that, and he probably already has a decent amount of that right now. I wouldn't be surprised if that country was at, 105, 106% income. Burma, pretty big change, more than doubled it. Thailand, a little less than doubling it. Was already a pretty big country to take in the beginning, but he made it a lot more worth it to go early on. Cambodia, he has doubled the income, went from 42 to 126, makes it well worth the time. And Vietnam, he has tripled the income, so Lion did take Vietnam first turn, so that's good for him. That's going to help him out. Then we will go to Europe real quick. So there are only a couple of changes made in Europe. The biggest one, I would say, is the nerf on Spain. He just made it, took away like 50 income from it. Just all the cities took a little bit, or one of the cities, I don't know. I didn't actually remember to check that. Belgium, he slightly buffed it by 50, and Swiss, he buffed it by 60. So overall, Europe actually got a slight buff too, but it's negligible. And he has also gotten rid of Iceland, so Iceland's no longer on the map. And here's the cities that I was talking about before that don't exist now. So Lion has preemptively made a wall around all of Asia. I think he believes that Mauzer is master of stealth. So he decided to waste a lot of time and make this great big wall. Great big waste, if you ask me. I'm messing with him. I actually like the walls. Oh, so the betting numbers. Um, so the bets are closed. You can no longer bet. The overall bet so far, we have 59 people who decided that Mauzer's going to be the one to win, who betted a total of over 15,000 Protocoins, and 98 people for Alliance and Escanor, who put in a collective 51,000 Protocoins. So it's like 3.5 odds for Lion. All right, let's get back to the game. Let's see what's going on here. So Mauzer managed to get over to the Middle East with his gen. He has over three, four, probably around 500 units within this area right here. A little more than that by the looks of it, 600. Lion with 243, 400 units, so a little less. Mauzer can afford to start being a little aggressive now. Lion, I guess just keep going. Just hope that Mauzer doesn't capitalize on his unit advantage, spread them out, start going for these cities here. Though if he does, I imagine Lion still has enough units that he could easily defend. It's just going to turn into a huge stalemate here. As far as unit count goes, I guess I'm doing it on the wrong turn again, so I'll wait. But this is currently the unit count. Looks like a little over 100 in Mauzer's favor. Let's look up north. Okay, it's a sizable stack. I would go ahead and say that Mauzer has the advantage up north, though not enough to start pushing. Once he gets his 48 stack over here, if Lion is a little late, if he's a little late or a little slow, Mauzer could easily push, start taking. If I were him, I would go from Kazakhstan down to Uzbekistan and Turk, and just start capitalizing on these units. Once you get these cities, it becomes really like annoying because now you have to start defending Delhi and the rest of Indian cities. And then, you know, once Mauzer takes one of these cities, that's goodbye for like 200 or 300 income for Lion, because that's the full city or full country bonus that he no longer has. Okay, 520 stack here. I don't know where those units came from. A little bit of a shock. Looks like he didn't buy a lot of the reinforcements that he had over here. So those PC numbers actually didn't come from Dave. I manually calculated those. So I took all the proto coins and I put them in a spreadsheet and then I just added them all up. And a lot of people, they made several bets. So I made sure to get the number of unique bets. So each player, you know, is what I counted, not each bet. Personally, I put 850 proto coins on line, so that's who I'm rooting for in this game. It is a 5-minute turn timer, and it's going to go for 100 turns. So that adds up to a little over 8 hours. The game started at around 6 a.m. for me, so that was probably an hour and a half ago. So it'll probably go for another 5 or 6 hours if they don't take a break. Or no, that's wrong. like another 6.5, 7 hours if they don't take a break. Looks like the unit advantage right now is towards Lion down here. We'll see how that changes with the next turn. These 200 or so units going to move down, equalize it. A lot of people already have their predictions of who won. I'm not going to say. Let's, okay. Looks like Mauzer has a little bit of an SP lead so far. Turn 20, so the game is 1/5 the way done. If the game goes all the way to 100 turns, the person with the most SP will win. At that point, you know, I predict that that's how the game will end. So if I were both players, I would just focus on getting the most amount of SP I could, which is what it looks like Lion was doing earlier by taking some of the cities over here. He was a little bit aggressive into the Middle East, and I think that might be why. So 650 versus 540. Not enough that either side can do anything. So it looks like it's going to continue to be a stalemate for a bit. Looks like Lion decided to go ahead and make a big wall over here. He believes this is an RP game. It's not. But I digress. Mauzer's going to go ahead and try and capitalize on these cities, taking some of the advice that I gave earlier. I didn't know he could understand English as well, so kind of a shocking discovery. It would be kind of a mistake for either of these players to take my advice too much, considering they both have a much higher elo than I ever had. With Lion at a whopping 1700 elo, which I believe is a high for him, and Mauzer at 1468 elo. And if you look at their profiles, you can see that both of them have spent a decent amount of time practicing. Mauzer's probably played more of these practice games, competitive Asia versus Europe, but I would say Lion probably has more experience just overall with these kinds of games. He has more experience 1v1ing and dueling. So if we look at the duels, and there's only so much you can go off of based off of dueling. Lion has like a 3-to-1 or a 4-to-1 ratio roughly with his duels. Pretty impressive. With Mauzer is a 2-to-1, a little less than a 2-to-1, with him losing like his last 6 duels. So maybe looks like Mauzer's trying to deflate his elo so that people bet against him, and Lion's inflating it so people bet for him. So this will be the biggest upset in AtWar history if 98 people lose 51,000 Protocoins. It's actually a pretty smart move for Mauzer to move down south with these units. It's going to put Lion in kind of a pinch where he has to defend all of these cities, as well as, put up a front against Mauzer's big stack here. Who made the biggest bet individually? That is a good question. Um, Let me see. Sean Spicer made the largest bet in favor of Mauzer with 5,000 Protocoins. And let me just make sure that no one beat him. Looks like Jugers put in two separate bets on Lion, one of them for 8,800 Protocoins and the other one for 10,000 Protocoins. So he actually takes up spots 1 and 2 for Lion. Sean Spicer autistically bet on both people. Kind of saw that coming. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but whatever. No, he didn't make the wise move. There's no point in hedging a bet. You just bet less, is what you're supposed to do. Just bet if you don't want to lose that much Protocoins. Sean's not even the only one. There were like 4 or 5 people that bet on both sides, and I can't understand why. If Sean ran a business, he would run 2 competing businesses, but they wouldn't be like profiting for each other. They would just be spending more money competing. All right, let's see. Turn 21. Unit count looks about the same. Looks like Mauzer getting a slight bump in SP. So every little bit of SP is going to help Mauzer. If this carries on turn 50, it's going to turn out in his favor. So. I'm going to try not to roast too many people that bet SP, or not SP, Protocoins. You guys wouldn't want to know who bet the second most Protocoins on Mauzer. Alright, let's get back to the game. So, looks like Mauzer's heavily defending Balkans. That's kind of predictable. Unfortunately, his cap is up in Poland. So, that's where I would be setting, defensive units if I were him. I wouldn't be stacking lower Balkans. He's got a nice stack in Greece. He's buying his units pretty efficiently. He's using all of them. Up north, we got a Got Mauzer running away down south with these units, trying to take some of these cities, probably get some SP so he can get more of an advantage. Even if he doesn't keep the cities, just taking them is going to be a huge influx in his SP, which is going to help him turn 100. Assuming this goes all the way out to a turn 100, which I imagine it won't, actually, now that I think about it. If it comes down to SP, I imagine that the winner will be clear probably around turn 90, turn 85, somewhere around that. And I imagine the loser will probably just leave. I would say Casca that this map is balanced and that Asia, if anything, has an advantage here. I would say Asia has an advantage because it's much easier for Lion to use all of his units because all of his cities are um, 7 reinforcements and up for the most part, right? All of these are 8s, all of these are 8s. Whereas Mauzer, on the other hand, he has a lot of cities with 2, 3, 4, 5 reinforcements that he has to individually click and drag. He has a ton more cities. If we look at the cities count alone, it's like a third more, like 50 more cities worth of units that Mauzer has to individually click and drag away. The unfortunate thing is that Mauzer's a lot closer to the front lines with Europe, so it's going to be, it kind of evens out. But I would say with 5-minute turns, it makes it possible for Mauzer to move all his units, but it's going to be more difficult for him for sure than it is for Lion. Okay. Looks like Lion has figured out the unit this like imbalance between him and Mauzer up north, and he's fixing it with this big stack of 113 up here. That should be enough to kind of scare Mauzer away. Mauzer's probably going to bring the stack down towards his other 800 units, I imagine. Unfortunately, Nero, luck doesn't build up like that. I like to imagine that Mauzer has probably, his mother changing his towel every 10 minutes or so. And Lion is playing from the inside of his tub. As far as unit counts go, Lion has about the same amount of units, but they look to be more spread out, which is probably a better thing. Mauzer's collecting all of his units in one big stack. We'll see what he does with them. What one of them might, try and do at some point. If you get enough units, you get like 1,000 or so units, you can just march them right past. I don't think Lion could really stop him. He has to put up a bunch of walls here, which will slow him down, but if Mauzer takes the initiative, gets some stealth bombers or something, and he breaks these walls ahead of time, he can just march right through. Um, and really, Lion has to just follow him with his units. It becomes a funny scenario. But we'll see if either of them do that, because both of them have the ability to do that. I would say it's a lot more dangerous for Lion to pull that kind of maneuver right now, though. because if he loses India, he loses the game. It's just like that. Whereas Mauzer can lose a couple of cities or countries up here, and it's relatively the same game. So Lion has confirmed that he is Lucky Bastard. Mauzer, we think, is MOS, but he might also be PD. I've seen what are a couple of stealth bombers, but those might be red herrings. Lion not moving his units fast enough, it seems. He's still got units in Japan and South Korea just kind of sitting there by the looks of it. It looks like Mauzer has several hundred more units than Lion, but we'll have to wait a couple of turns to see if that's real or not. That's a good idea, Mueller. Just based off of looks, I would say there's a good chance that Mauzer might have a few hundred stealth. Because I could see probably, if I'm gonna make a guess, 1,500 units, 1,400. And it says Mauzer has over 2,300, so it's probably a lot of stealth. If yeah. I wouldn't be talking about subs around around Mauzer because he might be thinking of like footlongs, whereas we are talking about submarines. The unit count seems to be bugged all the time though, so if he does have a few hundred stealth, um, he's probably sending it down through the Suez Canal or down through like the other side of the world. Looks to be a smarter idea from Mauzer, stacking all of his units up together in one big stack, because if your general is in the same stack, then they cost less on the uptake, because each unit, has a cost per turn. Um, but if they're in the gen stack in a city, then they cost less. So Mauzer taking advantage of that. Less so with Lion. Yo, Nero, you wanna hop in here? Hold on, let me pull up Discord. Alright, get in here, Nero. You work in a fucking library, bro. Go take a smoke break. The library is not gonna catch on fire if you go take a break. Mauzer takes Cyprus, turn 24. Okay. Completing Europe. Looks like Lion decided to take some action up north. Let's see what he decides to take. I don't know if Mauzer should be able to defend, but it depends. We'll see. So, Lion might just go for the city here just for the SP. Looks definitely plausible to me. And then just march these 100 units up there. And it looks like he can outpace Mauzer to get Russia Ural, which would be a pretty big win. It might not be too holdable, um, especially given that I don't see a ton of units falling behind, but that would definitely help out the SP disadvantage, which it seems that Lion's catching up slowly but surely on. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and take a break really quick. I'll be back in a little bit. I am just going to leave the stream on though, and I will post more links to it when I get back. I used to honest you all get on. Cut it away. We know that it's not the same as when I'm actually can't hear the music myself, but I just typed in copyright-free music, and I'll just play some of this in here. Actually, I'll skip this song because this doesn't look like the jams, but I'll just leave this go.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live to see. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah. Oh, yeah, I've discussed it with myself, and I'm disgusted with the way we're told to have a certain face, a certain weight, because we aren't pixels on a screen. No, we're human, we breathe. Every single thing we see curated, it's overrated. These expectations, they keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa. And if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to think, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go. On we'll go, finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest, echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go. on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Burning bridges to the ground. So take away what's left of me. Blinded by the ones I lost, connecting lines of which we crossed, which we crossed. Dropped off the scene at side, wishing to have one more fight left in me. The life I see, what's left in me. Burning bridges to the ground. Take away what's left of me. Burning bridges to the ground. Blinded by the light ahead, thought about just what you said. Connecting lines is what you planned. After all, let's take a chance. Turning dust into diamonds, turning love into guidance. A second chance, let us commence. That's what I left. The life I see, what's left in me.
saw you in a smoky room, babe. You were a Burberry tank, some dark black pants. Cause you were so fine that I got paralyzed when I looked you in the eyes. How do we end up here tonight? We just a shot of tequila, you started moolah, Selena, we moving side to side. be honest, I girl. Till you turned around and looked at me with those dark, dark eyes, and I couldn't resist, girl. So I kissed you instantly on the spotlight, on the dance floor we stood. I'm addicted to you tonight. The story's written for you and I. You stole my heart right away that night under the stars above the sky. I'm addicted to you tonight. The story's written for you and I. You stole my heart right away that night under the stars above the sky. I'm addicted to you. We left the club around 3 to go back to my place. We jumped in the cab and rode along for an hour or so. When we got home, we lay in the couch all night long till we both passed out with your hand in mine. We just a shot of tequila, you started moving like Selena, we moving side to side. Ariana style, girl. Till you turned around and looked at me with those dark, dark eyes, and I couldn't resist, girl. So I kissed you instantly on the spotlight, on the dance floor we stood. I'm addicted to you tonight. The story's written for you and I. You stole my heart right away that night under the stars above the sky. I'm addicted to you tonight. The story's written for you and I. You stole my heart right away that night under the stars above the sky. I'm addicted to you. Addicted to you. I'm addicted to you. I'm addicted to you.
How you guys doing? Going to turn down the music a little bit. Test, test.
The club isn't the best place to find a lover, so the bar is where I go. Me and my friends at the table doing shots, drinking fast to the
Alright, so, bit of an update.
over and start a conversation.
Looks like we have, turn it down a little more.
Take my hand, stop, Havana man on the jukebox, and then we start to dance. And I'm singing like, girl, you know.
Looks like Lions made some progress down south and up north. He has Russia Ural, which he didn't have before. Mauzer just kind of abandoned his post up here. And he also took some of Middle East, which is significant. Definitely significant. And even if Lion loses Middle East, like this portion again, it still doesn't matter because he's still making it so Mauzer can't move his can't buy transports here. Because if he drops 1,600 units on any of these cities, it's not going to be able to buy reinforcements. Hold on, let me link this again. There we go. I'm gonna pause the music for a second. Actually, I'll play more whenever I go back. So I'll just do the periodic updates, I think, instead of being here and then not being here for a portion of time. I'll just drop in like every couple of turns or so, and we'll just see. But as far as unit count goes, definitely in Mauzer's favor, but apparently I always do this in the wrong turn, so. For you guys just tuning in, the bets were, got all the bets, I added them all up. There were 59 people that made a bet for Mauzer. They bet a total of 15,320 Protocoins in his favor, saying that he'll win. They'll double their money if he does win. 98 people had trust in Lion, and they bet a collective 51,307 Protocoins. So they will get a 1.6 times increase to their whatever they bet if Lion wins. I personally bet 850 on Lion. I think he knows what he's doing. Okay. You see every single turn, it just looks like Lion's getting more SP. He now has an 85 or around an 85 SP advantage, which is kind of small now, but if he continues to keep it up. Oh, he took the one city in Mashbad? Mashad, not Mashbad. Anyways. Yeah, he took the city, which is a pretty big deal, in my opinion. Makes it, like, he doesn't even have to hold it, just taking it gives him a significant amount of SP. It lowers the amount of reinforcements Mauzer has. Makes it easier for Lion to continue to make progress. Now, you see, like, this big 1500 stack, he could take back these cities, and he should. But he should have done it last turn. And now he's just going to have to take them without interest. I don't know, like, it seems as if Mauzer's not able to transport these 1500 units. I definitely don't see 30 transports laying around anywhere, which it would take at least 30, 50 probably transports. I don't even know what the math would be on that. But he would need a lot of transports to get these units over there. So he's just kind of holding them in the Middle East. It doesn't seem like he's even trying to push. He's just kind of holding. Mauzer just seems, sluggish and slow when it comes to this part here. It looks like the stealth campaign by Mauzer started though, which is probably his main goal, I assume. I assume that Mauzer is trying to just gather up, a couple thousand infantry, stack them here, make it look like this is his goal, but actually he's master of stealth and he's going around the globe, going down the Suez Canal and trying to attack Lion this way. If I were Mauzer, if I were Lion, I would be buying probably just 20, 30 bombers, doesn't even take that much, and I would be sending them in the ocean, just in different parts of the ocean, and I would just like be looking, just buying sentry planes is kind of a waste. Buying stealth is it's not a waste, but it's I just don't recommend it. It's just super expensive. If you can afford it, yeah, definitely buy stealth instead. But bombers work just fine. That's what I use, especially if he's playing Lucky Bastard like he is. He's probably not buying all of his units, or maybe he is, but he's just barely doing it. So I recommend I would just buy some bombers and spread them all out across the ocean, the empty parts of Asia, just so he can have an easier time of detecting those stealth. And once he does detect those stealth, that pretty much defeats Mauzer's master of stealth. So he won't be able to take anything, and he's just kind of just a dead mouse at that point. If I were Mauzer, what I would do, and Mauzer's probably already doing this, just stacking his units here, his infantry, just more of a defensive, and then all of his offensive is just all around here, ready to attack. And I imagine he's going to wait for the perfect moment, strike with I would hope at least a few hundred like Marines, right? If it's not at least 200, 300, 400, like around that range, then it's not even worth it to send out. You're probably not going to take much. It's probably not going to wield you that much SP. It shouldn't even be Mauzer's prerogative to win. It should just be to collect as many countries as you can. That's the name of the game. To kill Lion is going to be very difficult. You're not going to have enough stealth to do that. What you are going to have enough stealth to do is to destabilize him. Like, you can pretty much take most of these cities in India, probably, if you do it on the right turn. You could take southeast, doesn't look that defended. You know, there's like 70, 80 units here. If you can manage to take southeast all in one fell swoop, that's going to destroy him. Okay, looks like he took Turkmenistan. Okay, if I were Mauzer, I would be terrified. I would not want to take or attack any of these cities because all it takes is Lion. He might have I'm sure he does have the transports in Karachi to move these 900 units, probably, considering they've been there for a while. He could probably just swing these units over to Oman or UAE and easily defend that. Mauzer's also going with the RP walls just to protect against some hidden stealth or marines. Good idea. Interesting that that Lion would make the Great Wall of China, but you know, miss a huge chunk of it down here, including his cap. So that's interesting. If Mauzer has if he has the stealth and he has them around here, he just has to take southeast and south and Taiwan all in one turn. And yeah, you could kill him that way. All he has to do is sail around Indonesia. Yeah, Mauzer can't really do anything. If anything, if Mauzer attacks any of these, I imagine he'll attack Dubai just to take that back. But I don't see Mauzer taking Oman or going UAE just because of the threat here. And if he loses, I mean, that is a significant amount of units. He might be able to win anyways, too. That's the other thing. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It wouldn't shock me if Mauzer didn't do anything here. Looks like he's trying to and going to get Yemen next turn. So if I were Mauzer, I imagine Mauzer's auto-producing all of these units. They're just, you know, every single time hits the new week or like the reinforcement turn, he's like auto-buying all the units. But I would hope he's not doing that here. You know, all in the Middle East, Turkey area, I would not be auto-producing units just in case of things like Yemen. That way you can buy air transports in case they're needed and move some units down very quickly. Usually I will auto-produce when I play games like these. I'll auto-produce like the entire country except for the port city that I want to use. So I would auto-produce all of France except for Marseille, all of Spain except for Barcelona, all of Italy except for Naples, and then obviously just buy the transports as needed. And that's actually the fastest way to get your units across. I don't know if Mauzer's been doing that this whole time. He has a lot of transports over here, but I don't see a lot. Is that 11 transports or a stack of 11? I don't know. Either way, it makes it a lot easier to move them around. Then I move Germany down. You only need one transport in the UK, and then move them all to London, and then move them down through France through Marseille. Imp is weak, but with Imp you can buy every single unit all the time. So I like, I've been destroyed by Imp before, Imp Europes, because they just keep buying units and there's no matching that. There's no matching the speed and the amount of units that Imp can get. And you just kind of have to hope that your stack, your inferior stack, is able to tank it, which it can a lot of the times. So, but Mauzer on the offensive in Southeast Asia, taking Burma, which is would be a decent amount of money if he could take Southeast Asia. That would pretty much secure him the game, or at least for the next 20 rounds, Lion would be playing the catch-up game from that on. Looks like, let me see the SP difference. Okay, looks like a small but sizable amount towards Lion here. So if Lion can hold and maintain that lead, then that's gonna help him later on a lot. Okay, yep, like I said, Mauzer went for Dubai. But no significant SP change for Mauzer, unfortunately for him. Looks like Lion is starting the encroach on Russia Volga now. He's taken a couple of cities and he's moving towards that. So since Mauzer is probably master of stealth, he has to account, or Lion has to account for that, right? He has to always make sure that he is kind of lagging behind with his units here. So it's, normally I was giving him shit early on, maybe like an hour ago, for all the units he was keeping in Japan, but actually it might be a better idea to do that in the long run. Not right now, it's not really necessary, but in the later turns, he is going to want to keep some units around this area, and around here especially, just in case Mauzer sends some stealth over. It just acts as a deterrent. You want to be able to get at least 200-300 units into any city around these areas, so he can't lose Japan, which is why he double walled it here. He can't really afford to lose China South or China Southeast. He loses the game if he loses any of these. Even temporarily would give Mauzer probably 100, 150 SP, depending on how many units Lion was defending with. And just absolutely crush Lion's economy. So I'm gonna go ahead and bet that Lion doesn't have the transports to move all those units in Karachi, because if he did, I would have bet, I would have put them in one of these cities, just pick a city and put it in, and then hope he attacks it. What both of these players have to watch out for is what I see a lot in world games, to which both of them are very experienced. They should already, know that, like, even in the later turns 60, 70, 80, you have to be watching out and be as attentive as ever, right? You have to be watching out for stealth all the time, for Lion. You just have to be paying attention on unit counts if you're Mauzer, making sure that Lion's not, that he's not sending, 300-400 units through Kazakhstan, because sometimes I do that. What I'll do is, if I'm in a long battle against Europe, I will send units not north or south, but straight down the middle, and people like seem to overlook that because they're so used to people sending units all the way up here and to Russia through Russia Volga, but you can send units straight through the middle and either go like north or south at the last second, and it kind of confuses people and they don't know what to do. and you can really capitalize on that, especially with strategies that don't have land barriers like Sky Menace or covert operations are two good ones to use the strat for. But just split the middle, um, and people just get confused by that. Oh. That's a 100 SP difference. Wow. Yeah, that's significant. And Mauzer's, they're a third of the way through the game now. So 100 SP can turn into 150, but it might also not. So what Lion has to look out for is spreading himself too thin. So what I mean by that is I see UAE and Oman. I don't think he has transports to move this whole stack over here. So taking these, well, it was probably a good SP boost and, like good for him overall. He has to watch out for Mauzer, bouncing back, 2-3 fold. Because even though Mauzer, I don't think can move these units himself either, if he can, then he could take back all of this and then some, and then that puts Lion at a disadvantage. If Mauzer is concentrating units more, it just makes it that much easier for him to kind of catapult himself forward, right? And he can just keep going with it. But if I were Lion, I would probably also, if I have the time, and he probably doesn't, but if he does, make some more walls. So every time you make more progress, make some walls. I saw him doing that earlier, but by the looks of it, he's running, he's going through all of his units now, just trying to catch up to the unit count. Because he is behind on units, but he's also a lucky bastard, so it's about evened out, I would say. So we don't know Mauzer's strats, or at least I don't, but I believe he's Master of Stealth, and Lion's confirmed that he's lucky bastard. Waffle saying that yellow will shrink. I think that's definitely going to happen. I don't see Mauzer figuring out how to, bounce back from this. Not only does he have to catch up with landmass, he has to catch up on unit count and, or not unit count, countries. So he's losing ground, right? And when he retakes these countries, he doesn't get the same SP that Lion got when he took it. So he's going to have to figure out how to get back to the stuff he's lost and take new things, and that's going to be difficult for him, especially if Lion keeps what he's doing. It looks like Lion's drawing a message with all his walls. Maybe, yeah, I would put something here, just to protect against potential marine build up for Mauzer, but Mauzer would have to sneak by a lot of Marines, which is going to be unlikely for him at this point in the game. Okay, looks like Mauzer's going to try and get back Russia Ural. It's reinforcement turn though. I'm not sure that Mauzer could win this. Yeah, I'm gonna say it would be difficult for him if he's gonna try and take Russia Ural's cap. Okay, Lion, in an unusual move, decided to. He's moving upwards with his stack. He's not going to keep it in Karachi. Looks like the full. This is only going to affect probably 300-400 income. Only 300-400 income. But he took Heiko. So that's yeah, like I said, that's 300-400 income at least that Lions lost just from this one city being taken. That kind of puts the message out there to Lion, like, hey, I have stealth, I have it near your cap. So Lion's gonna have to watch out for that. Also, Hong Kong's not walled, so I would fix that wall if I were Lion. Yeah. Lion seems to have fixed his Southeast Asia lack of unit issue for now. He has 100 some units down south Vietnam. This is actually a really smart move from Lion. Lion's playing all the right moves right now. Mauzer got a big boost in SP. Probably from taking UAE. So for you guys tuning in just now, this is a 8-hour game at least that they're playing. Each player has one break that they can take. Mauzer has already taken his break. He took it because his mouse died, and that lasted about 10-15 minutes. And now, so Lion can at any point say, hey, make it a casual game, and then you know, he gets to take his break, and that break can last upwards to a day. Yeah. So it looks like Mauzer has enough units to take Ural, um, especially if he has any Marines on top of that. That's going to be a pretty big SP boost for him to be able to kill this stack. Yes, Mauzer already took his break. He called it his burger break because, I don't know, I guess his mom was bringing him food or something. Um, but Lion still hasn't used his yet. Now Mauzer 100% has enough to defend or to take Ural. I just don't see. If I were Lion, I would probably just first move that stack out of there because I don't want to lose that battle. I don't want to lose the SP from that. Mauzer catching up again with another SP round for him. I'm interested to see why he decided to move the units from Karachi. At first he moved them up North Pakistan and now they're in Afghanistan. I wonder what path he's trying to go with them. Is he just trying to keep them here or is he trying to go for Iran? It might be a good option, especially if Lion knows that he can't use the reinforcements in UAE or he doesn't have the transports to transport these units here, to go ahead and take them into Iran, because I don't think that Mauzer will have enough time to get back with his stack. So that's an option that he has. What's OnlyFans? I don't know what that is. I don't think he plans on defending Oman. What I'm curious about though is why Mauzer hasn't taken it. Because I think it's pretty obvious at this point that he's not going to try and defend Oman. Mauzer is being kind of lazy with his walls now, especially in Middle East. Whereas most of Lion's walls have yet to be broken. So I think Mauzer might have to refuel, get some pizza or whatever he eats, and then just get his energy back because his levels are falling. Mauzer actually bet the shack that he lives on, or lives in, on this duel. So if he loses, then Lion gets that shack in Serbia. And Mauzer will have to sleep on the streets, so. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and put the music back on, take another little break, and I'll be back in a little bit.
I'm in love with your body.
You caught my eye. I'm drawn to this room, addicted to you. pulling me back 'cause it's been so loud. The tension we have, it kills me to stand it day by time. You could be my light, make me feel alive. It could be tonight. And I think we could be taking by the sound of you and me. You're holding on to me like it's a dream. I think that we could write our history. And I think we could be taking by the sound of you and me. You're holding on to me like it's a dream. I think that we could write our history. If I say goodbye, then make me alive, make me alive. My heart's heating up, this love is on fire, love is on fire, on fire. If I say goodbye, then make me alive, make me alive. My heart's heating up, this love is on fire, love is on fire. If I say goodbye, then make me alive, make me alive. My heart's heating up, this love is on fire, love is on fire, on fire. If I say goodbye, then make me alive, make me alive. My heart's heating up, this love is on fire, love is on fire.
Wow, that was a significant turn. Oh wow. For you guys who didn't see it, and if you didn't see it, then I don't know whose stream you're watching, because this is playing you. Lion just lost his entire staff. His general and 1,000 units just gone. And it looks like Mauzer lost close to nothing. So that has huge implications. Shit. So it's not over yet, it's not over, but it's going to be a lot harder for Lion now. Without his gen, he's going to have a harder time being offensive and defensive.
Light of my life.
It's just going to be, it's going to be more expensive for him. He can still do it, but it'll be harder.
I'm just gonna bash your brains in. I'm gonna bash them right the fuck in.
Within a Tesla, it came with some gas and it boss shit. Pulling strings like a mandolin, she wanna fuck, but I'm just not having it. Really presidential, guess I'm a candidate. Working part-time, still can't handle handle it. Pussy ass, square ass bitch, call him Madison. I'm out that action, find me where the static is. Shoot more niggas than bullies and cowards. Closing down your block, pussy nigga, you ain't ready. Stay your Chevy, bitch, I'm calm. Chopper heavy, hold it steady. Bullets flying through your Fendi and your arm and your ribcage.
Yeah, that's no good for Team Lion, for sure. Um, oof. Looks like Mauzer's gonna keep his shack, or it's at least gonna, it's back in Mauzer's favor now, I would say. Um, we'll see. See how it goes from there. I imagine Mauzer sent in a lot of Marines, and he probably has a stack of 200-300 Marines just sitting around somewhere, and he sent it in along with his infantry stack, and that's what did it. What I thought about doing, um, what I thought Lion might do is he would send this 350 stack into his gen stack just to try and counteract that. But with a win that large, chances are that he still would have lost. 400 units isn't going to defend against a surplus of 1200. So yeah, I mean, definitely that was a key battle that Lion lost, but he can definitely still win. Just be a little harder. All right. Okay. As far as up north, looks like Lion has gone ahead and upped his game as far as his units up here. 222. That's defendable. Like you could defend against 300 with that, I think. And that's what Mauzer has. So yeah. I would say for Mauzer, if anything, now would be the best turn to try and take Russia Ural. But even still, Lion can chain units from the city here. So that can go either way. Maybe send in a turn block first. And he decided not to. Okay. Now Mauzer is up by 50 SP. Okay, looks like if I were Mauzer, I probably would have broken this wall last turn. I would have always had these walls broken, just so that you can, have that opportunity. Right now, he doesn't have the opportunity to attack any of these countries. But you preemptively break these walls, even if you don't plan on attacking them. It forces Lion to defend them, or it forces him to lose those countries. So. Yikes. Yeah, Joker shared his bet. Looks like everyone who bet on Lion might have to pay a visit to Australia. We'll go teach him how to duel. Kidding. But I'll go ahead and put the music back on. and we'll wait.
Do you remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching out. And do you see you got me falling in more times than I can get out. Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you, to keep you? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, trying so hard not to keep you, to keep you. How long do I got to keep you, to keep you? Trying so hard not to keep you, to keep you. Do you remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching out. Yeah. And do you see you got me falling in more times than I can get out. Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you, to keep you? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, trying so hard not to keep you, to keep you. How long do I gotta keep you? Faded in this dark and smoky room. Way out, face reflecting bright green, reds and blues. You know I kinda want to disappear with you, but I don't think that is what I would usually do. You know it's just like I felt the heat the moment he pressed his lips up against mine. Don't wanna fuck this whole thing up like I do every time. Fire is burning through this silence. I can't take it, can't control this flame we started. You know I'm fire in my heart, yeah. In the quiet, all my thoughts run free. So I drown them out at night with my TV. You know I got to try to ignore these thoughts that go back and forth inside my head. Stressed out before I'm in too deep and I can't go back. Fire is burning through this silence. I can't take it, can't control this flame we started. You know I'm fire in my heart, yeah. Fire is burning through this silence. I can't take it, can't control this flame we started. You know I'm fire in my heart, yeah.
Bring it back now. I got the moves. Hey. Hold up. If you turn around, you gon' face a lead. Shooting from above, go.
Everything falls into place. The minute you
Starting to
leave,
not
you
look
give
good
me
for Lion here.
I wanna know how it feels to live and let go without being put in
Yeah,
my
now he's
place.
down by
I'ma just dive
a little over
right
76.
into the wild side.
Actually, exactly 70. Or,
I'ma ride
yeah.
the wave
I can't.
until I die.
Yeah, 76. I got it right.
Until I die.
6 SP. And while he did have over 100 unit or 100 SP advantage at one point, it's not going to be easy to gain 100 SP back without a gen. He's going to have to keep taking small cities, do what he's been doing, but not lose it this time. So. Let's see.
My skin is cold.
Unit count still
As is my heart.
looks bad for turn down the music for a second. Still looks bad for Lion, though he claims that it's because he's LB. Mauzer probably has stealth, you know, all around this area. Still haven't seen any secret attacks over on Asia on this side. The closest we've seen was Mauzer took the city, and he took a couple of cities in Southeast Asia, but they were quickly taken back. So Mauzer's learned the shuttle technique. Hopefully Lion still wins. Tempest, we'll see about that though. I think there's a good chance that Mauzer pulls through, and he actually wins. But we still have 60 turns, so maybe Mauzer goes for like a secret stealth attack, and it just doesn't work out. Maybe he just wipes out 300 Marines, and Lion just gets a ton of SP from that. If I were Mauzer and I was going to do a big stealth attack though, I wouldn't wait till the later turns, and I would try and do it as early as you know you can win, you know? Doing a stealth attack on turn 90, you're gonna have like mixed results. Yeah, you're gonna have the most amount of Marines and stealth that you can get over there, but at the same time, like, if it doesn't work, you know, you lose instantly. Like, whereas if you do it early on, you know, you're gonna damage his income, and that's gonna affect him for the rest of the game. So that's just my input on it. I wouldn't wait till the very last minute to do it. I would definitely do it probably around 20 turns from now, maybe 30 turns from now. If you guys just started tuning in, hold on, let me link the stream to AtWar again. If you guys are just now tuning in, this is a duel between Mauzer and Lions and Escanor, where there are Protocoins on the line where you could have bet anytime until like 4 or 5 hours ago on whichever side you think was going to win. Personally, I bet on Lion, and I bet 850 Protocoins. Each person, like, this is a 5-minute game, 100 turns. Each person gets one break where they can pause the game, kind of. Basically, they make it into a casual game, and then they come back when they're done. So Mauzer already used his break to go eat some burgers. Then I came back, and I guess the grease got into his mouth, and it started messing up. Lion has yet to use his break. Yeah, anyways, 5-minute turns. Okay. 5-minute turns, 100 turns, so that's a little over 8 hours. I'll do the math for you. It's 8.3 hours, and it's already been going for 3.5 hours. So I still have about 4.5 hours to go. No, about 5 hours. Yeah, about 5 hours to go in total for the rest of this game. Jay Fredder's in the chat. Seems like all the Mauzer supporters are here, but there is a huge like Protocoin indifference towards Lion. Lion got a lion's share of the Protocoins bet towards him at 51,000 Protocoins. split between 98 people were bet for Lion, and Mauzer only got 15,000 Protocoins bet between 59 people. So they are playing on the on chess's balanced Asia versus Europe map. Typically, whenever you play Eurasia, Europe versus Asia, Europe has significantly more income, but that was balanced in favor of Asia, gave Asia a huge buff, so now it's on equal footing with Europe. So a lot of what was modified was just in Asia, in China, Japan, and Korea. Southeast Asia got a huge buff. A couple of cities in Europe had buff and nerfs. Spain got a small nerf, and Belgium and Switzerland got a buff, and that's it for Europe. That was the only thing that was changed. Also, Iceland was removed, which was kind of useless anyways. These cities in Russia Far East were removed, and these cities were buffed. Overall, if you make less money now with this country, but since now you can get the full country fairly easily, I would argue that it's a buff. So Lion has made giant walls all around Asia, trying to reenact the Great Wall of China, but he actually put it in the wrong place. Also, the Great Wall of China does not actually extend into the Japanese shoreline. So big miscalculation by Lion there. Lion just a few turns ago, probably 3-4 turns ago. I can't keep track of math at this point. But he lost his general. He had it in Iran. I guess he was trying to sneak by and take Iran real quick, take Tehran. But Mauzer managed to go from Dubai to Bandar with however many transports he has, with his 1400 stack, and he attacked, which was over 1,000 units from Lion, and he won with 1,100 units to spare. So I imagine with a few hundred extra Marines that he had that we couldn't see, that was the deciding factor in the battle. Oh yes, I'm aware. I'm aware that Eagle is playing on Mauzer's account right now. That was agreed to before. Looks like Lion, his pride has been broken, which is ironic given that Lion's sin Escanor was the sin of pride. So, that's something. What else can we talk about? Oh, looks like there was a small stealth attack on Fuzhou, breaking the income bonus for like a full country that you normally get. He's already broken it with China South once before. Now he's breaking it with Southeast. That's going to be huge. The income loss from here is going to really suck. Yeah, there's no easy way of seeing the city without me hopping into a game. So I'll just say that he lost a few hundred per turn right now. So let's see what that did for the SP boost. Gave Mauzer pretty significant SP boost. Looks like Lion is definitely losing confidence now. Asking for a best of 3. But little does Lion know, he's not going to be able to play a best of 3. He's not going to be able to get out of this match without receiving an account ban, because I bet on Lion, so. That triggered Dre Fretters. Oh, looks like Lion's thinking about surrendering. The apology. I'm thinking 2-month ban for Lion for letting me down. I mean, I only lost 850 Protocoins. Jugers, on the other hand, lost 18,000 Protocoins. So, that's, yikes. It's to 100, I forgot. You really think it was to 50? Yeah, you have 60 turns left. 59 now, but he's calling GG. Sugar's literally lost 18,000 proto coins, almost 19,000. That's wild. Fuck. I feel bad. Banned for a whole season? Alright. That sounds good to me. What's the ugliest shield color we can give him? He needs his own fucking dirtbag brown shield, I think. Take away that rank 15. Yeah, he surrendered. It's not going to be green anymore. Wow. Well, that was a good game. That was actually a little bit more entertaining than I thought. So, apparently World Games can be entertaining. So, yep, I'll go ahead and... There we go. That's rough. That's a lot of people. So for you guys still in the chat here, that is 51,000 proto coins lost between 98 people. I included lost my proto coins. I bet all my proto coins. It was only 850 on Lion and I lost. So sorry to Jugers, sorry to Bosnijak, sorry to Pavel, Cold Case, Antichrist, El Professor, Zappa. Lots of people lost proto coins here. H-Dracon, Lelouch. Damn. Alright, well, GG, good game, Mauzer. You played very well. That was an excellent, discovery attack. You found out, like, hey, I can kill this guy's general. Yeah, did a good game. And I will call it now. I'm excited for the next one.